Welcome to another episode of Battle Axe, coming to you from the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. I'm Joey Danya, alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. It is week number 4 of this 7-week regular season, and it all leads up to a double elimination postseason tournament where we will crown a Battle Axe champion here in season number 8. Here are the rules of Battle Axe. All of those rings moving inwards towards the bullseye are worth 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. The bullseye is worth 6 points, and then that small blue dot on the outermost ring is worth 8 points. At any point during a match, a player can try and hit that dot. If they do, they get 8 points. If they miss it, they get nothing. It's what's called the kill shot, and here, of course, is the championship belt.
The beautiful World Axe Throwing League Championship belt, currently held by Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, but as we saw in week 1, Joey, there's a number of competitors that can take this baby home, and I'm looking forward to this double elimination tournament coming up in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. All of these players are yearning to get that baby around their waist.
Yeah, they get to take it home and keep it until the next season starts, so it's definitely a prize worth having. And as you can see here, Joey, on the top 10 list here, we have Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw at 11-1, averaging an impressive 57.1 points, followed by Casey Nines, Cody Yoakum, Eric Shizzle at 9-3, Beth Jenny Gokel, Stephanie Prine, Brandon Feenstra, Zachary Torble, and Sarah Murray round out the top 10.
A lot of impressive talent in this league, and they're all hungry to win a title. Ann Welp will get things started here in week number 4. She's going to take on Jenny the Jet Gokel.
Yeah, so Jenny coming in at 8-4, Ann coming in at 1-11. But Ann started off her axe throwing career throwing really consistent numbers. And as she's progressed with her throw, she's kind of found herself in a little bit of a rut with finding that 4 ring, and then the drops have kind of crept up. So a little bit of regression from a really nice start.
3 Ann and 4 Jenny.
But she's, I think, focusing this season on really finding that throw that she really started off with.
Throw number 3. Jenny's up by 1.
Jenny the Jet quickly taking a 1-point lead after a couple of 4s.
And there's a nice throw there by Ann.
5 Ann, 4 Jenny.
But again, her axe still kind of hitting that board at a little bit of an angle, which causes those drops and just doesn't allow you to be as accurate as you'd like to be. So I'd like to see her kind of work on that. For Jenny, the axe getting away from her, but no ground gained or lost, so a couple 3s.
All right.
Both of these players operate quickly.
They do.
This one is moving right along.
Yeah, these waste no time. They get up there. Classic grip it and rip it.
Nice.
But a couple 4s there, so we're all tied up going into the turn here.
So Gokel and Welp switch sides, and we are ready to go for the second half.
It looks like that could be a 5 there for Ann if it's popping through on the top.
5 Ann,
And it
sorry.
is a 5, though. So she's crossing her fingers, hoping that it was a bullseye, but it was a 5.
The first 5 of this matchup, and it gives Welp a 1-point lead.
5
Well, Bobby,
Ann
you
drop.
alluded to it earlier. The way
Yep.
she's been throwing that axe, that almost seemed inevitable.
Yep. It's just one of those things you got to kind of work on, and we didn't really see out of her when she first started throwing axes. So something's changed. She got to work on fixing it.
3 and 3.
But another 3 there. So definitely
Throw 9 and
not able to
Jenny's up by
capitalize on that
4.
nice 5 she had on her 6th throw. A couple devastating throws here for her. But we still have a ball game here.
Looks like a 4 from Gokel
4 and 3.
and a 3 from Ann Welp.
Last
So
throw,
Jenny the
Jenny's up
Jet
by 5.
looking to close this one out. She's up by 5.
And for Ann, I think what she would like to see is just a positive progression, just a nice positive throw to end on, kind of like on a golf match where when you're golfing poorly, you just want that one good shot to make you want to go out again. And so I think she had it there on that last throw. It was a nice 5, very close to being a bullseye.
Jenny the Jet getting the win,
All right, nice skin.
39-35.
Yeah, so as we saw on that seventh throw, Ann just had that devastating drop, and then she had a couple threes to follow it up. So not the positive response you want after a drop. So she falls to 1 and 12, but she did have that nice throw on that 10th throw. So maybe something that she can carry over for the rest of the night and kind of find that 4, 5, and 6 ring that we're more accustomed to seeing from Ann. And then for Jenny, she's kind of living in that 4 ring, a couple threes, which is a little uncharacteristic as well. Only the 1-5 on her card for around a 39, but she's got better throws in her.
Jenny the Jet improving to 9 and 4 on the season. Time now for our next matchup. It's going to be Eric the Scope Shizzle versus Stephanie Primetime Prime.
So another classic matchup here. We have Stephanie Primetime coming in facing the Scope.
How about that clink of the axes? That had some power to it.
It was an impressive sound there. A lot of thunder in those axes.
Or Eric 3 Stephanie.
But Stephanie, axe getting away from her a little bit with a 3 there on her first throw, but Eric, of course, only threw a 4, so has a 1-point lead. We've seen a little too many 4s out of Eric, a little uncharacteristic of him.
Well, no sign of Taylor Swift here, and I wonder if that has something to do with the slow start.
The absence of Taylor Swift might have something to do with it, but right on cue, though, he throws a nice bullseye, and Stephanie with a 5, though, to make it a 2-point game going into the third throw. And I want to see Stephanie just kind of really lock in her routine, really lock in her release point, because if she can do that, she can start living in that 5 and 6 ring. Another nice throw there by Eric.
Or Stephanie. Whoa, you guys did the same thing at the same time. Bullseye.
Back-to-back bullseyes for Eric the Scope. He's got a 4-point lead.
Here's what
Yeah, he's really finding his release point, his nice, easy release point that Eric has that we've come accustomed to seeing so often. But both competitors, when they do miss, they are missing north to south, which is something that we always, we'd rather see that than missing east to west.
bullseye Stephanie.
Nice bullseye there by Stephanie.
And bullseye
Ooh.
Eric.
We've got a unicorn, Bobby.
Wow.
3 straight bullseyes for Eric the Scope Shizzle. He just got that one.
All
Yeah,
right,
another
next
example
row,
of,
Eric's up by
if you live in
4.
that 5 and 6 ring, if that 5 is very close to being a bullseye and actually got into the bullseye ring there. But Stephanie had a nice bullseye as well, so she's kind of dialing in her throw as well. Tough 4 there by both competitors, it looks like.
4 and 4.
But again, missing north to south. It's just a slight adjustment of that release point. We'll see if maybe switching sides helps out.
It's a 4-point lead for Shizzle heading into the second half.
And of course, Stephanie Prine knows where Primetime Nation is. She was giving a little love to him before the turn.
4 Stephanie.
And a couple 4s there. Stephanie was really hoping that was a 5. Maybe popping through in the bottom part of that blade.
The clouds are coming.
Yeah, she does not want to trade points with Eric the Scope here. She's got a little bit of work to do in the final 4 throws.
Stephanie's another player that's not too accustomed with going for the kill shot, but I'd like to see her make that progression to start getting a little more comfortable with it.
Stephanie, 4
A nice
Eric.
5 there, able to gain a point there on the scope.
3 throws to go. Eric the Scope leading 34-31 over Stephanie Prine.
Just focus up on that board. Remember that release point. Nice throw. Nice throw there by Eric as well. It could be a bullseye if it's popping through for him.
Stephanie.
Rule the bullseye there for Stephanie.
Bullseye.
And ruled a bullseye there for the scope.
I'm sorry.
Prine and Shizzle
All right.
elevating their game here.
This is throw 9.
Stephanie
Eric's up by
Prine
3.
giving some love to Prime Time Nation.
Yeah, she's starting to feel it. So a nice bullseye there. Unfortunately for her, she was unable to gain a point there on Eric. Eric with a nice bullseye there on his 7th throw. Looks like a 4 there for Stephanie and a 5 there for Eric the Scope. So he gets that point back.
Well, last week we saw him get very aggressive with the kill shots. He's got a 4-point lead. Doesn't look like he's thinking about it here.
It looks like he's staying down, going to play the board here. But I think he's thinking about it, though. And maybe waiting to see what Stephanie does. Maybe if she would have had a devastating drop or something like that, he might have called for it. But a nice
All
bullseye
right.
there.
6 Eric. 4 Stephanie.
Well, Eric the Scope Shizzle with a round of 51 to get Week number 4 started with a victory over Stephanie Prime.
Yeah, so Stephanie, did a nice job of making that adjustment. She had a couple of bullseyes there on her scorecard, but she really rebounded from that 3 that she had on her first throw. Was able to stick in this matchup. Had a chance if she wanted to get aggressive with that kill shot, but just not comfortable going for it quite yet. But something I think might be in her future, Joey. But for Eric, a lot of bullseyes there on that scorecard. Only 4 4s. He still wants to eliminate those. Probably a little too much for his liking, but still, he had a nice unicorn there on that scorecard as well. And then finished the match really strong, which is something he wants to carry over for the rest of the night.
Stephanie Prime falling to 7-6 on the season. Eric the Scope improving to 10-3. Much more Battle Axe still to come. We'll bring it to you straight ahead here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe. It is week number 4 here in season number 8. We're coming to you, as always, from the Bustin' Axe throwing range in Dubuque. The standings are tightening up, especially in the middle of the standings. Let's throw it down now to an interview with Beth Jen on how the middle of the pack is catching up.
Yeah, I feel like we have kind of a consistent top 2 or 3, but I really feel like there's another 3 or 4 players right behind those people up there that are really kind of clipping right at their heels. And it's kind of fun week to week. It's kind of been changing the order up at the top to see, when certain people have a great week and other people, maybe have an off week. So it's been really fun to see that. And I feel like anybody in kind of like that top 6 can beat each other day in or day out. And I know last week I was really close to beating Matt, which was really fun. I had never thrown that well against him, and it just goes to show that anybody can beat anybody in this league. And I think, even the people that are towards the bottom, they're not just easy wins. I thought when I first joined the league, I was kind of an easy person to beat because I had never done this before. And even the new people that are coming in, they're not easy beats anymore. Everybody's really stepped up their game from week to week, and it's just really fun.
No easy victories here in Battle Axe. Well, Casey Laser Wolf Nines, a former champion, is currently in second place in the standings. And we're going to throw it down to an interview with Nines on how the competition in this league continues to improve.
There's a couple other people that have really stepped it up. So, I watch some of these games now, and, they're surpassing what my average is, too. So that just means, equal competition. So when I get to those, these players now, I just really don't know how these games are going to go. It's getting exciting.
Indeed it is, and we've got an exciting matchup coming up right now here in week number 4. Beth Jen will be taking on Casey Laser Wolf Nines.
Yeah, so this can be a great matchup here. 2 top competitors here in the league. Beth Jen coming in at 9-3, Casey at 10-2. And as Casey was talking about in his interview, feeling the pressure of the competition kind of catching up. Nipping at his toes, so to speak.
A couple of 4s to get this one started between Laser Wolf and Beth Jen.
Well, that's always something, too, with a competitor, the caliber of Casey Laser Wolf Nines. You want your competition to push you. That's what makes you better as a thrower. People are chasing your spot in the league, but you also have to maintain your spot, and that's having good competition really keeps that fire burning.
And it's what makes this league so fun to be a part of. Casey Laser Wolf Nines with a 2-point advantage after the first couple of throws. That might be another bullseye for Laser Wolf.
Yeah, we'll have to get a check there for, there's a 5 there for Beth Jen, so very close to being a bullseye.
Casey, I'm sorry.
You see Beth kind of getting a closer look, knowing that every point is very crucial when you go up against Laser Wolf.
Back-to-back bullseyes for Casey Laser Wolf Nines.
Looks like he's got a unicorn here, Joey.
4 Beth.
And that axe getting away from Beth, so another 4 for her. 3 4s in her first 4 throws. Something she definitely does not want.
Our second unicorn of the day, and it comes from Casey Laser Wolf Nines.
Yeah, in week 1, it took all the way up until the last match of the night to get a unicorn. In week number 4, we've already had 2 of them, so...
These players starting to get into rhythm here.
Really starting to dial it in. Very close again to being a bullseye there for Beth, so the kind of positive throw that she wants, not a bad miss.
I was just
Well, Casey Nines takes a 5-point lead into the second half.
And that just releasing that axe a little too soon is Beth Jen. She's just kind of letting it sail just a little bit, but Casey really finding his groove. Only that 1-4 on his first throw. Other than that, all 6s and 1-5.
Laser Wolf is locked in.
4 Beth, 5 Casey.
Yeah, you got to wonder, too. I mean, Casey coming back into the league, he had the belt. He left it vacant. Matt took it over. You got to wonder if Casey really wants that belt back.
You had to imagine that sitting at home watching Bradshaw take the belt,
Yeah,
he had to be itching
without
to get
being
back out
able
here.
to, without being able to defend it, absolutely. Knowing that he probably could have maybe taken it home for back-to-back victories. Something we've yet to see. Another nice throw there. That could be a bullseye if it's popping through on the left-hand side.
5 Beth. 5
But ruled a 5. Another nice example, though, of, when you living in that 5 and 6 ring, those things can turn into bullseyes really quickly.
So it is a 9-point advantage for Casey Nines heading into the final throw.
And one thing with Casey's game, though, that I'd like to see him do is be aggressive with that kill shot. It's something we don't see him go for very often. He throws up really impressive scores, so generally they're not needed. But
Good game.
as we know, when you
43
go,
Beth, 54 Casey.
you go for the kill shot when you are comfortable with it, not when you need it. You really want to have that muscle memory ready to go. So for Casey Laserwolf Nines, though, he does come out the victor here, 54-43, improves his record to 11-2. And for Beth, just too many 4s on the board there for her. She's really kind of trying to find her 5 and 6 ring, but we know that's definitely in her bag of tricks. But another great matchup, and looking forward to seeing what these two competitors do.
A great start here in week number 4 for Casey Laserwolf Nines. 5 bullseyes to get a round of 54 and another victory. Our next matchup will feature Cody Yoakum taking on Eric the Scope Shizzle. This should be a good one.
Yeah, so our first time seeing Cody since week 1, where he defeated Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw. Just had a tremendous night. He had went 4-0 in week 1. Currently comes in at 11-1. So really putting together a nice season.
4 and 5 Cody.
Well, not the best start there for Eric the Scope Shizzle. And Cody Yoakum
Oh, so it was initially ruled a 5 there for Cody.
having Jenny take another look at that one,
Cody, a very honorable player.
as is every player in this league.
Very
They all
true.
want to win the right way.
Correct. But as you can see there, I mean, that's some laser focus there by Eric the Scope. If I were competing against him, I would not want to see that look in his eyes.
Yeah, I think after that first throw, he realized, I got to get locked in, and that one gets away from him
Eric.
as well. That's a 3. You rarely see that from the Scope.
Absolutely. And I've noticed, Eric, there's no fun meter with Eric right now. So I wonder if that's affecting his throw a little bit.
It has to be. Well, it's a 2-point advantage for Cody Yoakum after the first couple of throws.
But both these players can really dial it in. It looks like that's a couple 4s, so
4 Eric and 4
so not the start we thought we'd see out of each competitor. Only 1-5 after 3 throws. Cody with a 13-11 lead going into the 4th throw. You see him kind of shaking his shoulder there a little bit. I wonder maybe if there's some injury fatigue going on.
Yeah, as shaky as this start has been for the Scope, he's only down 2.
Yeah, he's just got to lock up on that 5 and 6 ring. Looks like he did a nice job there. Could be a
Alright,
bullseye
4
possibly.
Cody, 5
But
Eric.
ruled a 5, so able to gain a point. Only down by 1.
All right, 5th throw. Cody's up by 1.
Yeah, so the pressure of this matchup, I mean, I know we're only in week 4, but we know that the tournament is looming. So everyone wants points to jockey for position. Nice bullseye there by
Bullseye
Eric the
4
Scope.
Cody.
So he's able to flip the script and take a 22-21 lead going into the turn here. But positioning, Joey, is so important when it comes to the brackets for the Week 8 double elimination tournament. You want to live in the A bracket as long as possible. So really being in that middle of the pack allows you to do that
5 Eric.
without facing some of the upper tier, competition.
Yeah, once you drop down to that B bracket, it's win or go home.
Yeah.
And when you're playing in that scenario, anything can happen and your season can end just like that.
Yeah, your back is up against the wall for sure. So it's very important to, be in that middle pack where you're playing competitors that are, their skill level is very close to yours.
For Eric.
Never want to see Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw or Casey Laserwolf Nines as your first matchup in the tournament because it's going to be a long day.
Well, you knew it was a matter of time before Cody Yoakum would get on track, and he's starting to heat up now. His first bullseye of the match.
Yeah, his first bullseye of the match, able to take the lead versus Eric the Scope. Looks like that could be a 4 there for Cody, and he rolled a 4 and a bullseye there for Eric, so I'll be taking that lead back, is what Eric the Scope just said.
2 throws to go, a 1-point lead for Eric the Scope Shizzle.
Yeah, so as you can see, though, Joey, with this matchup, it's just been a yo-yo effect with both these players. No one can really pull ahead and pull away.
For Eric.
So a 5 there for Cody, able to tie this match. Perhaps are we going to see some sudden
That was
death?
9, sorry.
41 all, 1 throw to go.
Out of 41.
Haven't seen sudden death yet here in week number 4.
Oh, I think they're going to both go
They're
for
going
it.
for the kill shot. How about that?
I love it. Let's settle it in regulation. They both miss it. They go to sudden death anyway, and I think Eric hit it. I think they knew.
All right.
Boom.
Eric the Scope Shizzle with ice in his veins. He delivers the kill shot for the win. 49-41 the final.
Nice. So a very up and down matchup for both competitors, but you got to imagine that Eric the Scope is really not happy about that 10th throw kill shot. Really hit it very flush, but too many 4s on his scorecard, I think, for his liking as well, something we saw in week 1. A couple of bullseyes. He's definitely trying to lock in his throw just a little bit. And then for Cody, not as impressive of a score as we saw in week 1, but still 41 gets the job done even with the missed kill shot on the 10th throw. So he's getting it dialed in. Falls to 11-2. Eric improves to 11-3, but these are 2 of the top competitors in this league.
No doubt about that. A shaky start for Eric Shizzle, but what a finish for the Scope. Much more Battle Axe still to come. We'll bring it to you. Stay tuned to MC22. Welcome back to the Bustin' Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque. It is week number 4 here on Battle Axe of the 7-week regular season, leading up to a double elimination postseason tournament to crown a Battle Axe champion. It's been an exciting start to the season, and we've got a lot more action still to come. We're going to bring you our next matchup right now. Gina Feenstra will be taking on the defending champion, Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw.
Yes, so Gina's coming in at 2-10, but really doing a nice job of improving her score. She's really got a goal of living in that 45, high 40s range. Just eliminating mistakes is the goal for her season. And so far, so good for Gina.
Bradshaw coming in with a record of 11-1. He is the points leader in this league once again, and he gets off to a great start here with a bullseye.
Yeah, and as we know, Matt's goals for the season are just to live in that 6 ring, hit those kill shots, really get comfortable with those, and he's just doing a tremendous job. Fantastic throw there by Gina.
Bullseye and bullseye.
And of course, not to be outdone is Matt the Magic Man, but that high five there is why everyone loves the Magic Man. He just roots on his competitors so much. He wants to win, but he also wants his competition to be successful as well.
Bradshaw going for something we dare not speak of.
We dare not speak, but we do see. So a unicorn there for Matt the Magic Man to get the matchup started.
Well, the Magic Man getting this thing started with a unicorn. He's got a 4-point lead.
Yep, and Gina's just got to focus up on her goals. She can't worry about what Matt's doing. She knows that he's going to put up an impressive score. She's just got to focus on what she wants to achieve in this matchup. And it looks like Matt's getting a closer look at Gina's throw. Ruled a 4.
5, Gina.
But officially a 5. So nice throw there by Gina Feenstra. Matt with another bullseye, of course. But he's just locked in, as you can see. He just has his routine down. He's got it.
This is
Every
your fifth
little-
throw, by the way. Sorry.
Every little motion he's got figured out.
3 and 5, Matt.
Off the mark, though, for a devastating 5 for the Magic Man.
Matt the Magic Man with another impressive first half here. He'll take a 7-point lead into the second half against Gina Feenstra.
Gina, though, with 22, she's right around where she wants to be for her average score. It looks like that could be a bullseye there for Gina, and it is.
Nice.
So for her, she's looking to raise that average, get inch closer and closer to that 50 range. And that's the same approach that her husband Brandon Feenstra took, and we've seen how he's grown. He's starting to live in those low 50s and can put up some impressive numbers and get into those high 50s as well.
It might be time to change his name to Mr. Above Average.
It could be Mr. Above Average, but we have to run it by him, see if he's okay with that.
No doubt. But as you said, with this matchup for Gina Feenstra, it's not so much about playing against the Magic Man. It's about improvement and consistency, and she's doing just that.
Absolutely. We have not seen a drop, and we'll knock on wood just to make sure, but a nice 5 there for Gina Feenstra. And down by 10 with only 2 to go. So even, knowing coming into this game that Matt was probably going to come away with the victory, she's doing a really nice job of just sticking around and playing her game.
Another unicorn for the Magic Man.
And you can see Matt's getting a score check here. I wonder if he's thinking about going for the kill shot. Not to dunk it home, but just to kind of work on that. He has to go for a certain amount of kill shots and hit them to maintain his pro level status. And
He got
does.
it.
Woo.
And 4, Gina.
Like I was saying earlier, it's a flush kill shot. So he's really
All
getting
right,
dialed
last
in and
throw.
used to that.
Matt's up by 14.
And what makes the kill shot so fun, Joey, is it's a different arm angle, it's a different release point. So to go for it and then go back to playing the board, it's akin to golf, where you have to have a nice short game chip shot, and then you got to bust out the driver in the next match or next hole.
Bullseye, Matt.
And Bradshaw has it all in his arsenal. He ends
All
this
right,
one
Vivian,
with a
44,
bullseye,
Gina,
a
61.
remarkable round of 61. The Magic Man gets another win.
Yeah, just a tremendous matchup by Matt. But for Gina Feenstra, as you can see there, she has got a 3 on her 5th and her 10th throw. If those are even 4s, she's above her average that she's looking to achieve. So she's definitely making that progress. For her, no drops on the scorecard there, so great sign of improvement for Gina Feenstra. And then for Matt, the Magic Man Bradshaw, what can you say? Everything was 6s. He hit the kill shot in his 9th throw and up 1-5 on his 5th throw. But other than that, pretty close to perfection.
Poetry in motion. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw looking poised to make another run at defending that title. Time now for our next matchup. Sarah Murray will be taking on Brandon Mr. Average Feenstra.
Yeah, so Brandon coming in at 7-5, Sarah at 2-10, but don't let that record fool you, folks. Sarah's been putting together some really impressive matches, just coming up short a little bit. And as for Brandon coming out the gate, not too pleased with that 3. And Sarah doing a nice job of capitalizing with the bullseye.
That's the kind of start you'd expect from Mr. Average. There's a long way to go, though. He can get back in this.
There's a better throw there. Looks like a 4. And a nice 5 there by Sarah. So she's starting off this matchup red hot. 6 and a 5. She's got a 4-point lead going into the 3rd throw. And for all these competitors, Joey, when you get a lead, especially early on in the matchup, it's so important to keep piling on positive points.
4, Sarah, 4, Brandon.
It's fine to trade points, but you do not want your competitor to come back in this matchup. So you keep wanting to pile on those points and create as big a deficit as you possibly can.
Well, Mr. Average has played well this season, but he's off to a slow start, gets back on track right there.
Yeah, nice 5 there.
4, Sarah, 5, Brandon.
So it's always a different perspective when you're playing from behind. You really have to kind of blank out what your opponent's doing and just kind of focus on that board, because you gotta look up after a few throws and see where you're sitting. Nice throw there by Sarah. Looks like that's a bullseye. Really nice job.
Well, a great start for Sarah Murray. She'll take a 5-point lead into the second half.
Yeah, so they'll switch sides. We'll see if it affects each thrower. It looks like it did not affect Sarah at all. It looks like another bullseye.
Bullseye, Sarah?
Unfortunately for Brandon, another 4. So Sarah increases her lead.
31-24, Sarah Murray in front after back-to-back bullseyes.
There's a nice throw there by Brandon, but an even better throw there by Sarah Murray. So another unicorn tonight, man. These players are getting locked in, Joey.
This is a magical evening here at the Boston Axe. Sarah Murray up by 8 now over Brandon Feenstra.
Yeah, so Sarah just really finding her release point, doing a nice job of consistently living in that 5 and 6 ring. Another bullseye there for her. Watch out, Matt the Magic Man. Sarah Murray's coming for you.
She is not giving Brandon Feenstra any ground to gain up.
Yeah, at this point, Brandon's got to consider a kill shot just to stay in it, but we know that's not really in his arsenal, and Sarah Murray is human. She throws a 4 there, but what an impressive run of bullseyes.
All right, throw 10. Sarah's up by 8.
Doesn't look like either Murray or Feenstra will go for the kill shot here. Looks like a nice 5 there
Nice.
from Feenstra.
Bullseye, Sarah.
Oh, a nice bullseye there by Sarah.
4, Brandon.
And it's a 4 for Feenstra.
All
Well,
right,
what a
good
round
move.
for
43,
Sarah Murray,
Brandon,
and she
56,
ends it with a
Sarah.
bullseye. She pumps the fist and gets the win, 53-43 over Brandon Feenstra.
Yeah, I don't blame Sarah for not going for that kill shot on the 10th throw there. If you're living in that bullseye ring like she was, I would just want to maintain that and keep it consistent. So a really nice score of 53. Only 3 4s on her scorecard. Everything else was 6s and a 5, but really nice job. And then for Brandon, he just never seemed to be able to find his footing. You know, he started off with a 3, too many 4s on his scorecard, and not a single bullseye. So, you know, the average kind of averaging out a little bit, but definitely can put up a better score than that.
I think all of that Mr. Above Average talk was premature.
There we go.
We've got much more Battle Axe still to come. We'll bring you a couple of our last matches of the week straight ahead. Stay tuned to MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe, week number 4 here at the Boston Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa, of our 7-week regular season, leading up to a double elimination postseason tournament to crown a champion. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. And Bobby, what a week it's been.
Well, it's been a fantastic week, and I'm really looking forward to this next matchup. We have Beth Jen facing Sarah Murray. So Sarah looking to carry over that impressive matchup versus Brandon Feenstra and take on Beth Jen.
Yeah, Sarah Murray coming off a round of 53, and we'll see if she can keep it going here against Beth Jen.
Yeah, she did a really nice job of living in that 5 and 6 ring in that matchup versus Brandon. Unfortunately for her, starts off with a 4. Lucky that was a 4. That was very close to being a 3, so you got to get it dialed back in again. And then for Beth, she's kind of had a inconsistent night so far.
4,
As you can see, she had a 43 versus a round with Casey Laserwolf 9s. So looking to improve on that. But Sarah with a nice bullseye on her second throw. Perhaps the start of a run.
She's right back on track from where she left off after her last matchup.
Oh, and she's off the mark there. But Beth
5, Beth. 4.
with a 5, very close to being a 6. I'd like to get a closer look at that. But Beth agrees with the ruling. And she'll take her point. Only down by 1 going into the 4th throw. Just got to live in that 5 and 6 ring.
4, Sarah.
And so those are a tale of 2 different 4s, Joey. As you can see, Sarah definitely hit a 4, but Beth was so close to that 5 ring, and you can see she wants to get a closer look, knowing that's a frustrating 4
All right,
versus
fifth
Sarah's
row, Sarah's
clear and
on
obvious
4.
4. So definitely something to build on for Beth Jen.
Great focus there from Sarah Murray. Looks like a 5.
4, Beth.
Yeah, there could be a 5 there for Sarah if it's popping through.
4, Sarah.
Rule to 4, though, so hitting that black and not popping through on that 5 ring would. Still a 1-point lead here for Sarah Murray.
So Murray and Jen switch sides and get set to go here in the second half.
Looks like a 5 there. And again, Beth just living around that 4 ring, ever so close to that 5.
5, Sarah.
A couple 5s there for both competitors. But those are the kind of throws you want to see to make that progression, Joey. That's what we're looking for. That's the inside baseball to this axe throwing league.
4 throws to go here in a 1-point game.
So it looks like a couple fours. We got a war of attrition going on here, Joey, with 3 throws to go. Sarah Murray only up by 1.
Yeah, neither Murray or Jen can get the bullseyes going. We'll see if one of them can get them going to get the win.
Looks like a 4. That could be a 5 there for Beth if it's popping through on the top side. And it is, so she's able to tie this thing up. I don't know, Joey, does this match feel like sudden death to you?
We haven't seen it yet this week, but perhaps it's on the way.
It's got that feeling. It's got a tournament feel to it almost. Oh, my gosh.
4
Wow.
Beth.
So we've been talking this entire time. Beth Jen's been living so close to that 5 ring and some really frustrating fours, but the axe getting away from her there. Luckily, it was only 1 point that Sarah gained for her. So 39-38, very important throw. Oh,
3 Beth, 5 Sarah.
wow.
Well, Sarah Murray with a 5 to seal the deal.
44 Sarah.
She gets another win here in week number 4, 44-41, the final over Beth Jen.
Yeah, so, man, this matchup, on that 8th throw had that feel of sudden death was just looming, and then Beth with some devastating threes to end this matchup, something we're not very used to seeing from her. The axe just getting away. She was doing a nice job of really inching closer and closer to that 5 ring. But, hey, you got to tip your cap to Sarah Murray. She stayed within this game, eliminated mistakes. She had that 1 bullseye on her second throw. Other than that, living in that vortex pretty much, but enough to get the job done over Beth Jen.
Sarah Murray with back-to-back wins to improve to 4-10 on the season, and she's much better than that 4-10 record would indicate, as we've seen here tonight. Let's throw it down now to an interview with Stephanie Prine on what makes Primetime Nation so special.
No, because Primetime Nation doesn't show up for the scores, okay? Primetime Nation shows up for the entertainment, which I always provide. Thank you very much. So, no. Nothing but smiles from Primetime Nation.
Stephanie Prine always putting on a show for the fans.
Absolutely. She said it herself. It's all about the entertainment. The scores can come and go, but the entertainment is guaranteed to be there.
Well, get your popcorn ready because we've got some entertainment. Stephanie Primetime is ready to take on Brandon Mr. Average Feenstra.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great matchup here. As we saw earlier in the night, Brandon fell to Sarah Murray. She was a buzzsaw in that matchup. So we'll see how Brandon responds. And for Stephanie, she had a really very close matchup with Eric the Scope here earlier in the night.
Nice start for Mr. Average. He's got a 1-point lead.
Yeah, so Stephanie at 8-5, Brandon at 7-6. A couple of the very competitive middle-of-the-pack competitors. Looks like that's a 4, possibly a 5 there for Brandon.
4 Brandon.
We'll see the ruling here. And a bullseye there for Stephanie Prine.
Stephanie Prine said she was going to put on a show, and she's already skipping down to the board.
Absolutely. Again, the entertainment value is always there with Primetime Nation. And I always think it's a dangerous mentality to have when you don't really care about the score. You just want to have fun out there. I mean, anything can happen. You can really get in a groove, as you're seeing there from Stephanie.
Well, she's having fun, and it's working so far. Back-to-back bullseyes to build a 3-point lead over Brandon Feenstra, who's just been struggling tonight.
Yeah, he really hasn't been finding that 5 and 6 rhythm that we're used to seeing out of Brandon.
4 Brandon, 4 Stephanie.
But he is a competitor.
Sorry.
As much as he wants to be average, he does want to win. So he's just focusing up. He's got to stick in this matchup and do whatever it takes to come out the victor. But then for Stephanie, this is the position that you're in when you have a lead. You have to keep putting up positive points. You have to keep increasing that deficit.
And 4 Stephanie.
It's okay to trade points to an extent, but you don't want to leave that door open for your competitor.
I'll have you switch
Stephanie
sides.
Prine will take a 3-point lead into the second half.
It looks like a 5 there for Stephanie and a nice bullseye there for Brandon. So he's able to gain a point.
Things are tightening up now. It's a 2-point lead for Stephanie Prine with 4 throws to go.
That's a good sign there for Brandon. We haven't really seen a bullseye out of him. You just hate to see that. You can see almost like a split finger fastball there. Axe just getting away from him.
4, Brandon.
But no damage done. He'll stay within 2 of Stephanie Prine. 3 throws to go, and Prine's happy to trade points at this point.
Yeah, at this point, but you'd want to think in that last throw when Brandon missed so badly that you wanted to get a point out of that mistake there.
4 and
And
4.
the axe kind of hitting that wood a little awkwardly. Lucky that stuck in there.
2 throws to go now.
Already. Throw.
Prine still in front by 2, 37-35.
Looks like that could be a 5 there for
Hi,
Brandon.
5, Stephanie.
But again, another 5 there for Stephanie Prine. So
All right. Last throw. Stephanie is up by
42 to 40. So Stephanie just needs to find that 5 or 6 ring. Brandon with a nice bullseye. Stephanie cannot have a 4. And she
Stephanie,
throws
bullseye,
a 4.
Wow, what a throw from Brandon Feenstra.
46.
Wow.
Stephanie Prine,
She's not worried.
not worried the least bit, but we're going to sudden death.
Wow. So Brandon with a nice bullseye there on his 10th throw. Stephanie keeping it loose. They both have to go for the kill shot. The closest to wins. Oh.
Wow, it doesn't get closer than that, but it looks like Stephanie Prine is going to get the victory.
Wow.
And she does. Stephanie Prine delivering in the clutch.
Good game.
She gets the sudden death victory
You guys were-
over Brandon Feenstra.
Yeah, so Stephanie Prine improves her record to 9-5. Just a tremendous matchup with Brandon Feenstra. Brandon did a great job of throwing that bullseye on that 10th throw to force the sudden death. But man, what can you say? We got not only impressive score, but we got some entertainment as well from Primetime Nation. And if Stephanie can start putting together that 5 and 6 ring, if she can start living in that a little bit more, Joey, she's definitely going to make a run in this tournament. And then for Brandon, he's just getting kind of stuck in that vortex rut a little bit, kind of reverting back to some of the old habits that he's had. But we know it's in him. We know he can live in that 5 and 6 ring as well.
What a way to finish an exciting week here of Battle Axe. Stephanie Prine, the victor in sudden death. Time now for our post-game wrap-up. After 4 weeks of competition, let's take a look at the standings. Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw leading the way. 15-1 on the season. He's averaging more than 57 points per game.
Yeah, he's putting together a great season so far, but also is Casey Nines, Cody Yoakum, Eric Shizzle, Beth Jen, Stephanie Prine popping up in the leaderboard there, Jenny Gokul, Brandon Feenstra, Brittany Brokel, and Bob Yoakum rounding out the top 10.
A lot of great competitors on that board. Just a couple weeks to go until the postseason. Until next time, thanks for watching Battle Axe. We'll see you again here on MC22.